This is episode number 25 of Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse. Today we will be talking about our favorite rides and attractions at Walt Disney World in Florida.
Everything Disney in and out of the house. Two grown-ups and a mouse.
Hi there, I'm AJ.
Now I'm Andrew.
And you are listening to Two Grown-Ups and a Mouse.
The video.
I was just going to say, we think you're listening. Well, you should be listening because it is a podcast, but now it's also a YouTube video.
That's right.
So you could be watching.
Yep.
But if you're watching, you're probably also listening.
I would hope so. Otherwise, this will not make for an exciting TV show.
No.
On mute, it'll be kind of boring.
Unless you like watching people gesticulate. But I have my hands crossed right now so that I don't do that.
There you go. You want a squeezy thing?
I have a squeezy thing.
Oh, okay.
My friend Gina bought me this. She sent it to me.
Oh.
It was a holiday gift.
That's right.
This is actually much softer than yours.
Well,
Mine's much more squishy.
these are squishy.
Oh, but look how squishy mine is.
Now it's very squishy.
Yeah, it's a very squishy. It's a cup of hot chocolate.
That is very profound as
To
well.
match my cup of hot chocolate.
So it's a squishy.
A very squishy. So today we are going to talk about our favorite rides and attractions at Walt Disney World.
That's right.
And looking at the list, many of these are also available at Disneyland in California,
That is correct.
possibly at some of the other parks in other countries, but
Well, with some minor changes here and there.
right. But we will be talking about the rides and attractions at Walt Disney World because that is the one that we visit most often.
That's right.
So I'm going to start talking about my favorite rides and attractions.
Well, you go right on ahead.
I will. My first number one favorite thing to do at Walt Disney World. I know this is going to surprise you and many others.
It will.
Shopping.
It's completely shocking.
Shopping is shocking,
Yes.
except for not really.
Not really.
No. I like to go to the parks. I like to buy Disney Dooney purses and Disney Harvey's purses
Right.
and Pandora jewelry. Disney only.
That's right.
I don't own any Doonies, Harveys, or Pandora. That one kind of, but I don't own any that are not Disney.
Right.
For Pandora, I try to buy the bracelets that have Disney on them, but
Right.
some of my bracelets, which hold my Disney charms, they are just standard Pandora bracelets. They're not
Right.
Disney. So in a way, I do have non-Disney Pandora, but for the most part, the ones that I purchase, I bought them because they're Disney.
That's right.
I wouldn't, Pandora, the style, I don't know that I would have bought anything from them or too much from them if it weren't Disney.
Right.
I like the Disney aspect of it. That's why I have so many. Or as you say, I told you to start buying it for me and then you would be able to buy me for every holiday.
Right. For many, many years to come.
Only I then ended up buying a lot for myself on sale. Because I
Sure.
do like getting sales.
Right. You're right. Yeah. Sale. That's it.
I like shopping. So that's my number one. Would you like to say you want to start with your list?
I guess we can go back and forth.
Why not?
All right. So, my number one of all the parks, anywhere in Florida, is a Magic Kingdom, the TTA. It's so very simple.
What's the TTA for someone who might not know?
The Tomorrowland Transit Authority. People
Also-
mover.
Yeah, I was just going to say also known as.
That's right.
Yeah, that is your favorite, isn't it?
It's simple. It's easy. It's relaxing.
What is it? For anybody who doesn't know.
Well, you get into a car that's propelled by magnets. Very high tech for a long time ago. And you just kind of cruise around Tomorrowland. However many feet in the air.
Paging Mr. Morrow, Mr. Tom Morrow.
Well, yeah, that's the. They got some flack because they took that out of that part of the ride, and then a whole bunch of people complained, and they put it back with a different voice and everything, but just to better match the theming of the experience. But the TTA, you get to ride past the original Epcot model.
Yeah. A lot of people might not realize that is not handicap accessible. You cannot, if you're in a wheelchair and you can't get out of your wheelchair, then unfortunately you won't be able to
Correct.
to enjoy that attraction.
Right.
Because you have to go up. It's not an escalator because it's a moving ramp.
It's a moving walkway that's going up, obviously.
Right. It's at an incline.
It's not a bad incline or anything, obviously, but you definitely need to be ambulatory in order to ride it. Yeah, they won't let you go up the ramp in a wheelchair or anything, so you have to be able to stand for that.
Right. You have to be able to get up the ramp, then you can ride it and then get back down the ramp. They don't have an elevator or anything to transport you up there.
Right.
So if you are handicapped, that is something that you will not be able to experience. But if you are ambulatory, then you would be able to enjoy that. I believe you also like it, and I know I like it, because even if there's a longish line for it, it usually moves pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like Spaceship Earth and like Buzz Lightyear. They're all like on a continuous track.
Pretty much. Well, I mean, each one of these has cars, but it's not so popular that people will trade off going to Space Mountain.
Oh, no, nothing like that. But what we like to do is, if we're waiting for something else in Tomorrowland, we like to ride the People Mover just to kill some time. Maybe we got to that part of the park earlier than our Fast Pass, so we just need to kill a few minutes, and it's a great thing to do.
Right. Absolutely.
So, but that actually leads to my number 2, and that's Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, which is also in Tomorrowland.
That's right.
And I was just saying how it also is a continuous track, but a big difference, if you are handicapped, they can stop the ride.
Right.
In order to let you I believe you need to transfer out of the wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
In Midway Mania, you can roll the wheelchair on. I don't know
there is a wheelchair
car
vehicle in Toy Story.
But there's only like one on the whole track, I think. So you have to wait for the whole thing to come around.
So most of the time, if you're able to get out of the wheelchair, they're going to want to prefer to.
Right.
They'll stop the ride in order to help you get in, but that's obviously easier than having you wait.
Right.
For one whole cycle.
But because it's on the ground level of Magic Kingdom. Well, I shouldn't say ground level, because that's actually the Utilidor's ground level. Magic Kingdom's on the first floor, but that's besides the point.
Right.
But because it's on the same level as everything, you can walk right in or wheel right in, depending on your situation, and you can enjoy that attraction.
That's right.
Which is really nice. I like it because it's great for all ages. I mean, it's great for adults because it basically is putting you inside of a video game. You go in there and you're shooting at things and trying to get points.
Right. And most of the time I'm getting more points than you.
Mm-hmm. What's your number 2?
My number 2. Oh, yeah. I like this one. You don't like it as much, but it's Aerosmith Rock and Roller Coaster. It has all the elements of a perfect roller coaster. It's in the dark. There's no really big hill. And it's playing Aerosmith music. And I'm an Aerosmith fan, so. It's
not that I don't like it. I just don't like bleeding. And people are probably wondering why I would be bleeding on the Aerosmith ride. But you can't see it if you're watching the video because I have the headset on, but I have some earrings at the top part of my ear, the cartilage. And that has bled before because I'm like leaning my head over on the shoulder strap. So I lean my head on it. And because it goes 60 miles an hour at the beginning,
right.
It did make me bleed once before. But of course, knowing that now, I just take the earrings out.
Right.
Before we go on there.
Of course.
But you are right. I do like that roller coaster because it has shoulder straps. Yeah. I don't enjoy roller coasters without shoulder straps. I don't like doing any kind of drop, as witnessed by my mine train.
We should post one of those.
We
photos
said we
one
were
day.
going to.
Well, I've been nice so far, but
No, we can post that.
it is humorous,
Yeah, I have a really scared look on my face, and there's absolutely no drop
right?
in.
Well, Aerosmith.
No, there is one in there. Well, in Aerosmith, you go upside down at the very beginning. You do make one big circle.
Well, you actually go upside down a couple times because there's a loop at the beginning, right? That's what you launch out of. It's also a magnetic launch system. So you go 0 to 60 in, I forget what they say. It's like
10 seconds.
No,
Well, it's less than 10 seconds.
No, it's like 2 seconds.
They show the timer on the side.
Right. It's very fast. And you do a loop, and then as you're going through, there's 1 or 2 corkscrews. So you're technically upside down in those periods as well.
But you can't even see it, so you don't even know if you're upside down or right side up or
Right.
whatever.
But it's good theming, so I like it.
Right. Well, my number 3, which we also just mentioned a little bit, is Toy Story Midway Mania at Magic Kingdom. And I say that because I am not a fan of the one in California.
Well, we should probably correct you.
No,
because
yeah, that's Buzz Lightyear in California that I don't like.
Well, you also don't like Toy Story Midway Mania at Magic Kingdom because it is not at Magic Kingdom.
Sorry, at Walt Disney World in Hollywood Studios.
That's correct. It's at
I'm tired.
It's at MGM.
Hollywood Studios. Yeah, no, I forgot. We haven't been on the one in California.
We have.
But it's the Buzz Lightyear in California that I don't like.
We did both.
No, I know, but it was Buzz Lightyear that's very different in California than in Florida.
Because in California, you actually have to pick up the laser blaster,
Right.
as opposed to Florida where it's attached to the car.
Yeah, and it was just very, very difficult for me. But I don't do first person shooter games as often as you do, so I don't do as well at those things as you do, which is why when we ride Midway Mania, I don't go for the high score. I go for the accuracy percentage. And I usually get about 98%. As opposed to you, I think you get around 67.
Or less.
Yeah. But you get a much higher score than I do. You usually get the highest in the car. So, yeah, I do enjoy Midway Mania. It is a ride where you go and you sit in the seat. And again, speaking of, if someone's handicapped, I know that they have the wheelchair accessible ones because there have been times we've been there where my knees were really hurting. So we went onto the handicapped entrance because if you don't do the handicap entrance, you do have to walk upstairs and downstairs.
Right.
It's just the way they set up the queue.
And that's true in the new queue as well.
Correct.
Right.
But if you're handicapped, if you're in a wheelchair, it's not a problem because they can let you go into the handicapped entrance. You don't have to do any stairs. But they do have a handicapped vehicle that they can get the wheelchair on.
Right.
Or the other benefit of the handicap ride is the shooter is a little bit different because the normal shooter you have to pull, right? You have to
pull
the cord. But the handicap one you hit, kind of like a horn.
There's a button.
Yeah, it's like a horn that you're hitting. So it's a little bit easier if you have problems with your hands.
Sure.
It's a lot easier for you to do that. So it is nice that they have those options available.
That's right.
So what's your number 3?
Mission Space at Epcot. The ride that has spawned many, 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 many stories.
I thought you were going to say spawned Upchuck.
Well, that too, because, when we rode that ride pretty much right from the beginning, and they did not have those little fans that blew on you, and they did not have airline level barf bags within arm's reach. So, but that's part of the lure of the ride. Is when it first started, a lot of people were getting sick on it. So, but
they changed it.
Well, they didn't actually, but they made 2 versions now. So there's the green one, which doesn't have the spinning. So you actually don't feel the spinning so much, but if you're prone to motion sickness, you might feel it on the main one. So they have the green one, which is just, it basically leans you forward and backwards and side to side. And honestly, if you rode it and you didn't ever feel the other one, you'd probably still go, well, that's pretty cool. So, but obviously the other one is basically a centrifuge, and it is simulating high levels of gravity. So as you lift off from Earth. So
And that's the orange one.
that is correct. The orange one.
Well,
The real trick on that one is to keep your head against the back of the seat, and don't try to push it forward, and don't really look side to side. Just look straight ahead, because otherwise you'll feel the motion much higher. So, and then bad things will happen, and then you'll know why they have barf bags and fans in front of you.
my number 4, we also talked about,
Yep.
is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And I remember when it opened.
Right.
And speaking of which, let's backtrack for a second. The Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin opened November 3rd, 1998.
Right.
So it just celebrated its 20th anniversary.
Right. That might be the longest any ride has been there.
Right. Tomorrowland Transit Authority is July 1st, 1975. So a little bit longer,
Just a little bit.
or a lot longer.
Right.
But that's more just an attraction, not so much a participatory ride the way Buzz Lightyear is.
Right.
Toy Story Midway Mania opened May 31st, 2008. Rock and Roller Coaster opened July 29th, 1999. I just said Midway Mania, sorry. And
Mission Space.
Mission Space opened August 15th, 2003.
Right.
So now my number 4 is the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which opened May 28th, 2014.
Right.
And what I was starting to say was, I remember when it first opened, some other people having gone on it, and they were like, yeah, it wasn't a great roller coaster. And what people forget are 2 things. One, Magic Kingdom is not an amusement park. It's a theme park. It has a theme.
Right.
Amusement parks are parks that have more, the rides are more, I don't want to say amusing because they're all amusing, but more thrilling almost. You know, they're higher, they're scarier or faster or...
Well, when you talk about a place like Six Flags, as a good example,
Right,
of a really big, but it's an amusement park, but the rides are the attraction. When you go to Magic Kingdom, obviously the ride itself is almost secondary to the theming in the ride, the theming in the parks, and the whole.
It's a theme park, so
Right.
you're not going to typically get. And there are a few exceptions, but generally speaking, the attractions inside of Walt Disney World are based on the theming, not on giving you a thrill ride.
Right.
That's probably the best word. They're not thrill rides; they're themed rides.
Right, and they also want to make sure that they attract the widest audience.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't do you any good when 3/4 of people walk in and look at it and go, "Hell no."
Yeah, exactly. But the other thing that people forget, specifically about this ride, is it's a kids ride. Even though adults
Pretty
can
much.
ride it, it is a kids ride. So it wasn't meant to be high or scary. It was meant to be fun and meant for the kids to enjoy it. So
Sure.
if you have not yet ridden it, I love it. It's a great ride, but I remember that it's a kids ride. Another aside about it, which is important to people like us, we are big. You can, if you're watching the video now, you can see, we're big people. We're not small.
Right.
Doesn't make us bad, good, whatever. It's just what we are.
Yep.
The 2 of us don't fit next to each other inside of the mine train.
No.
I mean, we do, but very, very uncomfortably.
Right.
It is not a comfortable situation. So if you are on the larger side, you might want to get your own seat.
That's right.
But that, to each his own. Everyone's different or built differently. But, the way we're built, we work better sitting one right in front of the other, and one sits on the left and one sits on the right, because that's one of the rides that sways left and right.
That's right.
And if we sit on the same side, we tilt.
We did that once, and it was humorous, actually. But
Yeah. But we tilted.
yeah,
We didn't sway back and forth.
that's right.
But it's still a good ride.
Absolutely.
Your number?
My number 4, Everest. Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom, which opened in January 26, 2006.
That's a long time ago.
It is. And I'm supposed to say, I don't remember the guy with the earring.
Oh,
But-
I could picture who you're talking about.
Fix the Yeti already. Come on. There's a T-shirt that says "Fix the Yeti"
That's funny.
with his name. I think his name is Joe, but I don't know for sure. It says like, "Hey Joe, fix the Yeti."
If you're a big Disney fan, as we are, you watch the Disney specials and the behind the scenes, and there's a gentleman who wears a really big earring, big dangling earring.
Right.
Sometimes it's like a big feather or whatever. That's who you're referring to, that Imagineer. I remember when it first opened, or prior to its actual open date, you and I happened to be passing by the entrance, and we were pass holders, as we have been for years, and we got to do the preview.
That's right.
Actually, we got a lanyard and a pin from that.
Right.
They gave us a lanyard and a pin, which is put away somewhere, so we won't be able to show a picture of that anytime soon.
That's right.
But we do have that. One day we'll have to open the box and take pictures and start posting that of the memorabilia we have.
And yes, his name is Joe. But yes. And the Fix the Yeti it's actually a funny story, is when they designed the ride and they built it, you'll see this on a special somewhere about it. But they basically there's 3 things that are being designed and built. It's the mountain itself, which is, a bunch of steel, and then they make it look like a mountain. There's the ride, the roller coaster part is a separate section, and then they have this big structure for holding the Yeti, because the Yeti is supposed to actually reach down and swoop at you as you go by in the roller coaster. But and we might have actually seen it, because they only had it running for like the first week or two, and then they had to stop because it was breaking up the foundation. So that's the lure behind Fix the Yeti, Joe.
Yeah, I'd rather them not fix the Yeti and let the ride keep on running.
Well, it'll get shut down sooner or later just for other maintenance. So
Right. Well, my 5th top attraction is at Epcot, and it's Spaceship Earth. It's funny because I'm looking at all of my rides, and a lot of them are continuous track rides.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. But Spaceship Earth opened with the opening of Epcot on October 1st, 1982. And we used to almost religiously walk into Epcot, go onto Spaceship Earth, but because we've done it so often, as much as we enjoy it, if there's a line, we tend not to do it.
Right.
And that tells the story of us, of people.
That's right.
Which, it's kind of interesting. It's a nice, relaxing ride. It's enclosed, so it's just enjoyable.
It's usually air conditioned when it's hot out, and warm when it's cold.
Right. And what's your 5th?
Think of Phoenician. Oh wait, no, that's the other one.
Think of Venetian is from Spaceship Earth.
I know.
Yeah. But what's your number 5?
Sadly, it is Goofy's Candy Company. No trip would be complete without visiting it once or twice or maybe more.
Well, Goofy's Candy Company is also their brand of candy the prepackaged candy they sell inside the park.
That's correct. And then there's a store at Disney Springs. And then I don't know if the candy store in Magic Kingdom is called Goofy's. I think it is.
No, it's the confectionery.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So yeah, it's only the one in Disney Springs.
Right. The Candy Cauldron is also in Disney Springs, but on West Side.
That's right.
This is in the
Marketplace.
Thank you. I forgot the name of it. The shopping side, but they're all shopping sides. But yeah, the east side of Disney Springs is called Marketplace. The west side of Disney Springs is called West Side.
That's right.
And Goofy Candy Company is in Marketplace, and Candy Cauldron is in West Side. So it's nice that you can go to either side.
Right.
And, if you didn't get a chance to purchase candy inside of one of the parks, you can get it while you're there. World of Disney, the largest store on property, the largest Disney-themed store on property.
Right.
I thought I heard somewhere that it's the largest Disney-themed store, actually, just in general.
It very well could be.
That's
it's huge.
Right, and that's located in Marketplace. However, it's close to the east side.
Right.
So that if you go to one side versus the other, it's really easy to get to.
Right.
Which is really nice. But yeah, you used to like the cookies there. Now
Well, it's very disappointing. They got rid of my peanut butter and chocolate chip cookie. Well, I shouldn't say they got rid of it because they still have one, but it's basically completely different now. Before it was this ginormous, thick, with big, huge chunks of peanut butter and chocolate in it, and now it's more a normal sized cookie with chocolate chips and peanut butter chips in it. So, and it just doesn't taste the same, and I'm very sad.
And I'm very hungry. You just made me hungry talking about that.
Well,
so on that note, I think we should say thank you.
I think so.
Thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
Thank you for subscribing.
Yep.
If you haven't done so already, please do so.
That would be good.
You can find us, as you probably found us, at Two Grownups and a Mouse.
On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Or twogrownupsandamouse.com.
Right. Or on YouTube.
Two Grownups and a Mouse. We try and make it easy.
Right.
You can listen on your favorite podcast system.
That's right.
Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, you name it, you can probably find us.
Yep.
And we made it easy. Two grownups and a mouse.
Yep.
So on that note, I'm going to go get something to eat. So I am going to say good evening, just like my Apple Watch.
Not good morning?
No, Minnie said good evening.
We'll try it again.
No, she'll just say what time it is.
Oh.
She's not going to say. She only does it once.
Well,
Says it once.
Yeah, she does a morning, afternoon, evening, night.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it.
So, but, and like her, she said good night or good morning.
No, just goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.